Rightio, hello and welcome back to this series here on Newysports YouTube channel called Newysports Rates, pretty much ranking things, whether it be logos, grounds, jerseys, all that sort of good stuff. I'm going to try and look at getting a lot more of these out and looking not just at local comps but maybe A-League jerseys or this or that, just miscellaneous things. Let's get into it. NPL Logos coming in at number 11, Charlestown City Blues. I'm not actually looking at the logos as I'm talking about this, but they will be on the screen. Charlestown City Blues, I just feel like this logo is just too basic. You got the writing there and a soccer ball, football. Club colours, but still I just feel like they could have done a little bit better. I do like the old school Azuri logo over this one. Maitland FC at number 10, similar sort of thing, it just looks a little bit outdated. I don't mind the logo, I don't think there's a real shocker of a logo in NPL, but Maitland one's sort of starting to age a little bit. I don't like that Home of the Magpies, that's a very interesting sort of font, I don't like that down the bottom there. I just feel like they could maybe update it and just give it a bit of a freshen up. Number 9, Western. I absolutely love their basic bear logo, which they've got on their Facebook page at the moment, but this one you're seeing is their official club logo. It's a very busy logo, does have a lot of history behind it, but I do like sort of more basic looking logos, and there's a lot going on here, but that's the only reason I can put it so low. As I said, there's no real bad logos in this comp. Number 8, Lake Macquarie City. Just the whole Roosters thing put me off. I obviously know they're the Roosters, but I feel like the club name Lake Macquarie City FC is sort of small, and then you've got this big Roosters, and not to mention the actual logo itself is a little bit comical looking. I don't know how to say it, it's a bit like the Sydney Roosters. It's very hard to have a very intimidating looking rooster logo. Number 7, Lambton Jaffers. I don't really know what the whole jewel looking thing in the middle is all about, but it's a logo that's really starting to just look old, and I guess they do like that heritage look, but I don't know, just maybe a freshen up again. As I said, there's no incredibly bad logos, but there's some that are better, and we're about to get into the better ones. Starting at number 6 with the Newcastle Jets, or Jets Youth, whatever you want to call them, Jets Academy. I do like the Jets logo. I still think it obviously it's been around now for a good 13 years or so, but it still looks fresh, it still looks sort of newish. It's got the club colours, it's got the Jets on it, it's not broken, and if it's not broken you don't really need to fix it. No need for them to update anything there. Number 5, Adamstown Rosebud. I love this logo, but I hate the font, the Adamstown Rosebud font around that outside bit. Apart from that, the actual rosebud itself, I love the idea, I love the stripes, but the font brings it down a little bit for me. Again, I think they are, off the top of my head, the oldest club in the competition. If not, Edgeworth might have a claim to that. Number 4, Hamilton Olympic. They've had this one for a couple of years now. I think they updated the last one and sort of gave it a bit bigger of an actual badge sort of look. I don't mind it, it does the job. It's got the Greek sort of, what do you call it, Greek warrior. I guess they are the Warriors. Maybe you could have that in there, Hamilton Olympic Warriors, and I don't hear that very often anymore. Got the Olympic rings, pretty good logo. Number 3, Broadmeadow Magic. Very famous looking logo in local football. Been around for a bit now. As Broadmeadow Magic, obviously heavily Macedonian backed club. Some clubs look at Azuri, they had to change their name and their logos. I don't really know what the deal is there, but Magic, obviously Macedonian background, it's got the flag background. It works. Edgeworth at number 2, very basic. It's just an eagle with a football and Edgeworth FC underneath. Don't need to fix anything about that. And it is a logo that's really that flying eagle with the ball. It's starting to go around the country, and people are starting to realize they know who Edgeworth Eagles are. Being FFA Cup, pretty good history in that competition now. But number 1, Valentine FC. I didn't think I'd put them at number 1 in any list. They're going to be bottom of the next list that I'm about to do. I really like their logo. I love their colours. I absolutely love Valentine's colours, and I miss seeing them in the New FM competition. I do have a jersey. The logo is probably a little bit busy, but it's just a fantastic logo. The phoenix spreading its wings, and it is my top NPL logo. Right, back with you. Just had a split there because this is NPL Grounds. The Jets do not have their own ground. Ray Watt Oval, where they train. A very good facility. Obviously the emerging Jets junior grades play at Spears Point on the synthetic, and you probably know my opinion of that place. It's not exactly a place that I like watching football at. Anyway, number 10, the worst ground in NPL. I think people would agree on this with me. The Alder Park of NPL happens to be Cahill Oval. Carl Oval? Whatever. Belmont's, Valentine FC, their home ground. It's a terrible surface. I don't really know if it was last year. I don't know if it got fixed, but it has been a notorious surface over the years, to the point where they've had to play games elsewhere, and that would be my lowest rated ground. It is a cricket ground, not a football ground. Number 9, the home of the champions, Arthur Eden Oval. Been there twice in the last month, and I just sit there and I'm like, this place isn't really that spectacular compared to your Magic Parks and your Edgeworths and that sort of. The light towers, especially, I think the lighting there is pretty forgettable. It's there's no really shocking grounds, but it's one of my lower rated ones. Number 8, Cook's Square Park up at Maitland. I don't know, there's just something about this place. It's just the cobwebs all over the tiered seating, and it's just sort of showing its age a little bit, I guess you could say. Even the change room area, I think it could do a bit of an upgrade. Next up, Macquarie Field, Spears Point, been there a fair bit. Again, another ground that's showing its age, but probably not showing it as badly, but it's not great. If you want to sit there all day and watch football like I do, those wooden planks that you sit on up in the grandstand, they're very uncomfortable after a good hour or two. So again, not a spectacular ground, very good surface at Macquarie Field. It's always a nice looking pitch. Olympics ground, Darling Street Oval at number 6. Again, it's one that just doesn't really, it doesn't do it for me. It's very flat. The seating, when it's rocking, it goes off that semi-final against Magic a couple years ago. But it's an awkward ground, especially if it's raining, and especially if it's crowded. If it's raining and crowded, then forget about it. Number 5. Lyle Carr Oval for Charlestown City Blues. Was out there for the Zone League 2 Grand Final. It's a very good facility, but there are better. That's why it's not rated higher. But as for actual, your bar TV at the back, where we set up to film those games, you got the media thing there. You got enough seating. It's good. You got a bit of a hill. Everything's nicely laid out there. It's one of my favourite grounds in NPL. Number 4, Rockwell Automation Park. God, I've had some experiences up there. The grand final, and it's always a journey going up there. What a ground! It's not great, but it's a good atmosphere when it gets going. The crowd up there get behind the Bears, and it's good being up in that grandstand. That's probably that's one of the better grandstands to sit in because you're right on top of the action. Number 3, Adamstown Oval. I love going to Adamstown Oval, whether it be for Zone League Grand Finals or what have you. It's a wonderful facility, particularly downstairs with all the old memorabilia and the stuff on the walls and that. I didn't actually see that until the last time I was there for the FFA Cup. I actually got to go down there and have a look, and very, very good facility, lots of history there. Number 2, Jack McLaughlin Oval. It's had some pitch issues, but for actual, when the pitch, at the moment, before some idiots went and stole their lawnmower, it was looking fantastic in the last few photos I saw. And Edgeworth are a club that they just keep adding things on at that facility. They keep painting it. They want it to look good, and it is one of the better facilities in NPL on its day. But it's not number 1 because Magic Park is just enormously beyond, especially with the lighting for the FA Cup. That's something Edgeworth are probably working on as well, I think. But Magic Park, I know they just redid the seating, and it's a fantastic facility to watch football at, whatever level the FA Cup, the NPL Grand Final. It is the best ground in Newcastle football, and that is why it's number 1 on this list. So that is Newysports rating the logos and the grounds of the Northern New South Wales National Premier League competition. Be back in the next episode.